Dad, wake up! It's finally here. The day we've been waiting for all year is finally here.
Huh? Huh?
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Playoff appearance! Yeah!
Oh, the most wonderful time of the
This is the 10 Minutes with Andrew podcast. And now, here's Andrew.
I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down.
Welcome back to 10 Minutes with Andrew. I am, of course, Andrew, and I'm again joined by my dad, Mark Chansey. Welcome back to the show.
Good Sunday morning to you. Thanks
Sunday
for
morning.
having me. That is Rick Astley.
It is.
Never Gonna Give You Up, 1987. What were you doing in 1987?
I wasn't even
Exactly.
a thought in somebody's mind at that point.
So it's off the album Whenever You Need Somebody, and it hit number one in 1987 in 25 different countries.
I don't know if you know this, but there's actually a joke on the internet about that song.
Yeah?
And I don't know how it became a thing, but there was a joke on the internet about how every time somebody would send somebody a link or text them a link, they would open the link and then that song would play. So it's called Rick Rolling is what it's called.
It's kind of is it an earworm they call it?
I don't know what they call it.
You get that in your head and you can't get it out of your head. He had a couple of songs like that.
Yeah.
So before we get going, my buddy, big news.
Big news indeed.
We reached 1,000 subscribers. That's not even true. We're over 1,500 subscribers.
Almost at 1,600.
You are the real deal now.
We are the real deal.
And we had quite a boom in subscribers this week. Must have been that appearance by Gramps.
I guess so.
You think?
I guess it would be, yeah.
So I would not have thought we would have hit over 1,500 subscribers in basically 6 weeks. We're gunning now for 5,000.
We are, yeah.
So if you're watching, hit the like and subscribe button and do us a favor. Unbelievable.
And thank you for subscribing if you subscribed.
And the fireworks show today is on us.
It is.
Right?
It is on us today, yeah.
Yeah. So, what are we doing today, my son?
Well, today...
I asked that with a little bit of a depressed tone.
Today we're just going to be giving our thoughts and reactions to Game 1 last night between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins. And for those that didn't see the game, I'll just tell you right off the bat, Leafs lose 5-1 to the Bruins. It was not a good game for the Leafs. Well, I tell you, the way it started, maybe the first 2 minutes or so, they weren't playing they played pretty well. I mean, they gave Swayman a couple of shots, but other than that...
Yeah, I guess the issue is games aren't 2 minutes long.
Yeah, that's the issue, I guess.
Right?
With this team, I guess it is, yeah.
But my reaction to last night is that
I agree.
One good thing, as you can see, I haven't burned my jersey yet.
No.
Right? But you've heard of PTSD?
I've heard of PTSD.
I have LTSD. It's
Leafs
traumatic stress
disorder. Okay.
And it's bubbling. It's not back in full. This is only one game.
Yeah.
But not good.
I'll tell you, and you said this last night when we were watching the game. I was very surprised when Mitch Marner laid a hit in the early going.
Yeah, within the first couple of minutes, he tried to throw a hit, and I said, wow, Mitch Marner just tried to throw a hit. So maybe something's flicked in his brain that he has to play a little differently, but that didn't last. So if you go period by period.
Yeah.
The Leafs on the road, down one after one, and probably should have been down more. Boston hit a few posts in the first
They did
period.
very few posts.
I was happy with that.
Yeah.
Because you get to the dressing room, you're settling down, and you come out in the second period, and you start to take over the game. That's kind of the way the Leafs have done things in the past.
Yeah, and there was almost 50 hits laid in the first period. It was a pretty intense game.
Well, here's the problem. I got the sense that the team was so super focused on showing the world how tough they are now
Yeah.
that they were throwing hits and trying to finish checks in areas of the ice that got them into trouble, and that led to the first Boston goal, a 2-on-1. Samsonov, no chance on that one.
Yeah.
And they're down 1-0 early. They get to the intermission down 1. Like I said, not bad. I think the shots were 8-8 or 10-10 after 1, so nothing too tricky on Swayman. At least didn't get a whole lot of tough chances. But the second period was a disaster.
It was a disaster, and you know, I think about this, and to go back and think about what Brad Treliving said, and we'll go back to the word snot one more time. Snot's a good thing in the playoffs,
Yeah, but you have to.
but it has to be used properly,
You have to know how to use it.
and they don't know how to use it.
They have no clue because this is brand new to them. They are not that kind of a team.
And a lot of people have brought it up this morning, and last night for that matter. Leafs got destroyed last year, Game 1 against Tampa, 7-3. They played terribly, and that was on home ice. I was in Toronto. But I don't like comparing this year to last year because it's a totally different year, totally different team. But, you know, they did get destroyed last year in Game 1, and they ended up winning the series against Tampa. But
There's a couple of things, too. Like the top line of Matthews, Bertuzzi, and Domi.
yeah.
All of them were penalized at some point
Oh, yeah.
for a penalty that they took in the offensive zone. Austin Matthews had 4 minor penalties in 82 games,
That's ridiculous.
or however many he played this season. And he's got one in Game 1 of the playoffs.
That's just...
Like, where is your focus, my friend? You cannot be doing that. And everyone on the top line took a penalty. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I think you hit the nail on the head with what you said about this. They were just hyper-focused on showing the world how tough they are.
Well,
That's...
let me... a couple other issues we have, right? I said in our pregame show on Friday with Gramps, now we should have known when Gramps predicted the Leafs to beat the Bruins,
Yeah.
we were toast.
We were toast.
We should have known that one right away. Because if Gramps picks the Leafs, that's a bad omen.
That is a bad omen. That's definitely a bad omen.
But I said on that show, the Leafs need a goalie to beat the Bruins,
Yeah,
and Mitch Marner has to show up.
they do. He
And-
does, yeah.
Samsonov, hard to blame him for the loss,
Yeah,
but an .826 save percentage isn't going to get you very far in the playoffs.
yeah.
So the other thing is, Mitch Marner was invisible yet again
Yet
in
again.
the playoffs.
Well,
And it's not bad enough that it's Marner, but Matthews and Tavares. Let me put it to you this way.
yeah.
I've scored as many points in this playoff series as Matthews, Marner, and Tavares combined. I have.
That's
So have you, for that matter.
So have I, yeah.
Ryan Reeves is tied for the leading point getter on the Leafs in this series.
This is
Camp scores the goal. Reeves and Dewar assists. So Ryan Reeves is leading the Leafs in points in the playoffs. Special teams are a killer. They cannot kill penalties when they need to, and they can't score on the power play. The power play is too predictable. It's just pass it around the outside, try to get it to Matthews for a one-timer. Maroon plays on the top line for the Bruins and on the power play, and they stick him in front of the net to be annoying and a big body in front. Why don't the Leafs do that with Ryan Reeves in the playoffs?
that's a very good question.
Stick him in front of the net, sit Marner down, and let's try to jam in a goal.
You know, man, I wonder, and I'm sure there'll be people saying this on social media this morning. Mm-hmm. William Nylander was out for this game,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's going to be people on social media that are going to say something like, "This will be better once Nylander, excuse me, comes back." But I have to be honest with you. I don't agree with that, and the reason why is you can't do that and rely on one player. You can't say, "Well, once Nylander comes back, it'll all be fixed," because
No. Nylander's not going to make that much of a difference. The Leafs need to pay attention to detail because they had none. And they need some type of defensive structure. I don't understand what happens to this team in their own end, but there were countless times when they had time and space in their own end to get the puck out, and they didn't.
can't
get
clear
out.
it. They can't
and
clear
then
it.
they're under pressure, and sometimes leads to a goal. This is probably in the Sheldon O'Keefe era.
Sheldon Keefe, not O'Keefe.
Oh, sorry, Keefe.
McCann's, McMahon's, everything.
This is probably the worst defensive team I've seen. And the Leafs have had bad defensive teams.
Oh,
'cause
they have, yeah.
They've been ultra focused on the core four up front, the core three, I guess, up front.
Yeah.
But this is probably the worst. I have no confidence whatsoever in this team. And TJ Brody didn't even make the lineup last night.
That's insane.
That says something. He was your number 2 defenseman for the last number of years.
Yeah, well, let's do something here. Let's play an impromptu game of what are the chances? One question.
Oh, a game show? Hang on. You want to play What Are the Chances?
I do.
One
question.
A one-question game of What Are the Chances? All right, what are the chances? What's the question?
What are the chances Ilya Samsonov starts game 2?
What are the chances that Samsonov starts game 2? Well, I think they're going to be pretty high chance he starts game 2. I'm going to put that at 99.86%.
Wow.
That he starts game 2. I think you have to let him start game 2. Like I said, it's hard to blame him for the game. There was one particular goal. I would have liked you to stop it, but I don't think he saw the puck on a couple of the goals. But you got to kind of, if you take it away from him now,
Yeah.
what is that telling him?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
we're done with you? And then Wall goes in and he's no better. Then what do you do?
well, here's the thing. I'm going to say 100 on that because for his confidence and for his sake, you got to put him in. And also, he wasn't the problem, like you said. But I don't go to Wall. And if you have to use a backup, I know it might be a bit of a slap in the face to Joseph Wall, but I would go straight to Martin Jones. Martin Jones has been here before. Martin Jones has done this before, and I know the last game against Tampa he
He
didn't
didn't
have a
look
great
very
game.
good against Tampa.
But I don't know if that was his fault because I mean they all played pretty bad against Tampa. So I think that you have to. I mean he wasn't the problem, and I think Samson's the type of guy that if you take him out, that destroys his mental confidence. Like I mean I would for any goalie, but I think for
I
Samsonov
would give him a
especially.
chance because technically, in the past, Samsonov, who's had a bit of a stinker, has always come back with a strong game right after. So let's see. Give him a chance to hang himself. But again, it's not a goaltending issue. Like, protect the net, get some defensive structure, and play the game the way you know how to play the game. Like, Boston didn't do anything to make you think, oh my goodness, we're in big trouble.
Yeah, no.
That
no.
game was there for the taking.
Yeah, like
If the Leafs could figure out how to play properly.
they played like Boston. Boston played like Boston was gonna play. They played like a team that's ready for the playoffs. The Leafs just thought, oh, we're gonna be here. We're gonna show everybody how much tougher we were than last year and all this. And
So I, at the start of the third period, I muted the coverage on
Yeah.
Sportsnet.
I
and
didn't
then
even watch their. I went to bed.
I logged on to Dangle's live stream reaction to it on the SDPN network, and I'm probably going to do that for the rest of the playoffs until they get eliminated or win the cup, whatever comes first. He had a rough night, let me tell
Oh,
you.
yeah.
And if anyone is interested, if you're a Leaf fan and you're not watching Dangle, you're not a Leaf fan.
No, go watch
We'll
him.
put a link in the description below to find him. It is totally worth it from an entertainment standpoint, but what he says about Leafs is
so
painfully truthful.
And one other thing too I want to mention is this team, Boston. I think the Leafs have to win game 2 because Boston. There's two things here. Boston, if they get a 2-0 lead in this series, they probably will take it and run and won't look back. But the other part of that is last year Boston did a 3-1 series lead against the Florida Panthers. And everybody expected Boston to be in the Cup Finals, win the Cup because they won the President's Trophy. They were a great team, and then they had a 3-1 lead against the Panthers, and they blew it in 7 games. Boston, I think, is going to be different this year. They don't want that to happen again. If Boston takes a 2-0 series lead, that's an issue because I really think Boston this year is the type of team that's going to take that 2-0 lead and run, and you're not going to be able to get a chance to get back.
Well, it's a good thing your predictions aren't what we base our lives on. Hey?
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a very good thing.
You never want to go down 2-0, obviously, but See, I like starting on the road because all you got to do is win a game.
Yeah.
And when you win a game on the road to start, you've already taken back home ice advantage.
I imagine it was quite quiet in Maple Leaf Square last night.
I expect to see I imagine it was empty by
I'm
5
sure.
minutes
I'm
into
sure
the
it was.
third. I expect to see a completely different Leafs team tomorrow night.
Yeah.
If not, well, it'll be a short series. But right now, I'm not prepared to say what I am kind of feeling. I'm not giving up on the team at all, but all the same problems are bubbling up again.
Yeah, I mean,
We are paying $40 or something million to 4 players, and they just don't show up.
you know,
Like, did Mitch Marner actually play after 10 minutes of the first? I don't remember even seeing
I
him.
didn't see him.
And like Max
Domi.
Domi. I wish we had Ty.
Yeah, me too.
Max Domi, I love you. I know what you're trying to do, but you're hurting the team, man.
You are, man. And you know, like I said, I went to bed before the third period started. And like you said to me just a few moments ago off the air, that's kind of what you have to base your Leafs games on. If they're getting blown out, just go to bed. Just turn it off. And that's
Well,
what
in
I did.
Newfoundland, when games start at 9:30.
9:30, yeah.
So it was about 12:30 when that one was over.
I do think that the game on Monday night is supposed to start at 8:30, so that's going to be good.
So I do have a point, too. At some point in the first period, not long after the game started, I texted a buddy and said, NHL regular season hockey really kind of stinks. Because when playoffs start, from the minute the puck is dropped, it's a different game. There's a different level of intensity. Every second matters, right? It's just ultra, oh my goodness, I can't take my eyes off this.
Yeah.
The regular season is so boring. From, like, if you count the preseason games they televise, there's NHL hockey on TV from September to late June. So there's only July and August when they don't have it on.
Yeah.
But what they play from September to December is almost unwatchable. That's how boring it is. No intensity. So here's my question. When I was watching in the 80s, there was 21 teams in the league. 16 made the playoffs.
Okay.
Now there's 32 teams.
There's 32, yes. 32.
32 teams, 16 teams make the playoffs. Why not do this? Shorten the regular season.
Yeah.
Let more teams into the playoffs, like maybe 24,
Yeah.
and expand the playoffs. So fans get to see playoff hockey for longer and don't have to put up with the regular season crap that is the NHL from October to December.
Yeah.
Just food for thought. Wouldn't that be more exciting
It
for fans?
would definitely be more exciting, and it's short and regular season. It's a good idea. It really is, and
I am full of good ideas.
You are, and I'll tell you what. Back in 2021, when they had all Canadian division, they had to shorten that. That was good because it was a shortened season, and it was COVID, obviously. But, and again, this isn't anything to do with like the Leafs or anything. But I've been saying this about baseball for a while now: is baseball seasons are too long. Like 162 games is way too long for a season.
But at least in baseball, end of October, they're gone for November, December, January, February,
yeah,
and they start end of March. Hockey starts in September. You can watch preseason games on television in September, which are ultimately
those are
painful. But then they're on September, October, November, December, January, February, March. April they start the playoffs, and it'll be late June when hockey should not be played in June.
No, not at all.
It is not a summertime sport.
Hockey, June should be baseball and golf, man. That should be what June is.
But they have an opportunity to make it a little bit more exciting, and you've expanded the league by 11 teams over the last number of years, but you're still only letting 16 into the playoffs. It would be a lot more exciting for fan bases if more teams got into the playoffs, and it'd be a lot more exciting for fan bases if the games meant more.
But like do sort of like I guess a kind of like in basketball they have like a play-in round where like you have to
They
play.
could do something to make it interesting.
That's interesting, but
because 82 regular season games up until Christmas is hard to watch, and then the last month has been almost impossible to watch because teams that know they're in, they have nothing to play for. They're trying to avoid injury, and it's just anyway.
And
that's my little rant on the NHL this morning.
Yeah, and you know what else? It was a bad night when the Blue Jays had a better offensive night than the Leafs did.
Well, the Blue Jays are rolling now, 3 games over 500.
Furios with an ERA under 1. He said this is the best he's felt in his career, but I mean, they know he's going to get hurt.
I still think they're going to struggle to be a 500 ball club, and if they don't get the pitching that they're getting right now, they're going to be even worse than that. And it's time for our big guy, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., to get going.
Yeah, and
21 games, he's hitting .238 with 9 RBIs.
one other thing, fix it, Kevin Gosman, because I don't know what you're doing
Yeah.
right now, but you got to fix it.
But all the experts tell me that Guerrero's hard hit percentage and his exit velocity, that leads the league, which I don't understand that statistic. All that tells me with Guerrero is he's getting out faster because the ball's getting to the shortstop faster who throws it to first to throw him out. And when Dalton Varsho is leading your team in RBIs and home runs, not a good thing.
Dalton Varsho got a 3-run home run last night.
Guerrero, you're supposed to be a run producer. Start producing some runs.
I mean, that's the Leafs, like you said, not giving up on them yet. But this Monday night game might be a chance to.
Well, next Sunday's show might be interesting. Let's see.
It definitely might be.
We might not have. Well, we'll have a lot to talk about if they're gone, but
Yeah,
we won't have much to cover after that.
man. I didn't expect it to be that bad. I didn't know what I was going to expect from the Leafs tonight because the Leafs usually don't show up in game one.
Well,
But
to quote you, here's the thing:
yeah, I knew it was
if you're gonna lose,
That's
I
fine.
don't care if you lose 25-0,
yeah.
right? If you're gonna lose 25-0. Don't lose 1-0.
No,
Don't go to 4 overtimes and lose. Just if you're gonna have a stinker, have a stinker
like Florida and Carolina back in the
and lose. That's all you have to do.
last year.
So they've lost. I do expect a different team tomorrow night. If not, well, we talk about the same stuff we talk about year after year after year. But enough of that depressing stuff.
Enough.
Let's move on to our weight loss update.
Let's do it.
So we weighed in Thursday.
We did.
You did. I weighed in Friday.
Yeah, I put in there.
And how did you do this week?
Well, I'm down 2.2 pounds.
2.2 pounds you're down. Well, you know what I'm down?
What are you down?
0.2 pounds.
0.2 pounds?
0.2 pounds. Now,
I can't believe. At least you're down though.
I will say that is a Friday to a Thursday because I'm going to switch to my Thursdays to match you now.
Okay.
But I was expecting better. Anyway,
At least you're down.
sucks to be old.
I mean, at least you're down.
At least I'm down. That is true. But,
Yeah.
I didn't have to report that I'm up.
That's good. That's good.
So all good. I've updated our website,
Yep.
andrewchancey.com.
All right, yeah.
So our weight loss journey is up there. You can check in on your stats and see who's lost more, and it's all good.
Yeah, so thank you for listening and watching this episode of 10 Minutes with Andrew. If you found us on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe and comment. And we'll be back next Sunday with the next episode, and hopefully we don't have to scream about the Leafs being out.
Hopefully. Now let's go have a salad and a Diet Coke.
Let's go do it.
All right, buddy.
All right.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons and turn on notifications to be notified when we upload new content. You can also connect with us at andrewchancey.com.